Hello everyone, welcome back to part 2 of my Let's Play of Resident Evil Director's Cut. And let's go on with the rest of the exploration and, surveying the area of this part of the segment and trying to find out what's become of our fellow cohorts, if anything. Let's pop out into the corridor. Help myself to that little green herb. Might as well. Because believe me when I say, when Sugar and Fan meet in this game, there's no such thing as having too much health to work with. Because in this game in particular, I'd rather have more health than we could ever need, and not need it than need it and not have it. And in many respects, I mean, that can go hand in hand with ammunition. Because if you don't have adequate ammunition for a situation, if you need to get part through a certain room when it's just filled to the brim with enemies in opposition or every biological horror within a 30-foot radius, you're not going to get very far. Look, low off the top, would you like, sir? Come to the right, shotgun. Okay, hopefully I can get around this git without wasting any ammo. This could be a costly mistake though if he gets a bite on me. Oh, unlucky, you green-jacketed savage, you missed me. Now I've got to be careful in here because there's two of them in this corridor, so hopefully I can outmaneuver this one too to sort of save ammo as best we can. There you go. So at least I'm running rings around these zombies. Excuse me, did you just take 2 shotgun bullets to put down then? You greedy son of a zombie, you. Who said you could take 2 shotgun bullets to put down? Little bugger.
Barry!
Long time no see.
Jill, what's going on? Any clues?
No, but something's wrong with this house.
Finally you notice.
Whoa! This hall is dangerous. Maybe it's better to secure our escape route first. There must be a back door somewhere. Let's try to find it first, shall we?
Okay, let's separate again.
Just a moment. I found something.
What is it?
It's a weapon. It's really powerful, especially against living things. Better take it with you.
But how about you, Barry?
I have this.
Thank you. I'll take this then.
Now, good-natured joke and sarcasm notwithstanding, obviously I don't know how to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, how a few of those particular remarks could be taken out of context. Oh, and if like if people are occasionally curious to this series and thinking, hang on, if they're a well-to-do police force or special task unit, etc., why do the members of the STARS have to investigate the area in this volatilely dangerous situation completely on their own? Well, to answer my own civil question, or otherwise, the answer for that is, guess I'm a cut above the rest, eh, Jill? Or should I say you are? No, the reason they investigate on their Todd in this game is due to the fact that the Special Tactics and Rescue Squad, i.e. STARS for short, which are basically the two members of the police force you can choose as players in this game, Jill and Chris. They're made up of a special kind of paramilitary-like police force, if you will. And the STARS, or however you want to pronounce the anagram for that namesake, they're entrusted to watch their own back if push comes to shove in the most lethal and volatile of all situations. Oh boy, 2 against 1, well, that's hardly fair. All this attention for little old me. I'm blushing, boys, you shouldn't have. Blimey, didn't they ever tell him not to spit with his mouth full? Guess not. Oh well, if he ain't Sneaky the zombie. Sneaky times 2? I don't think so, Cheerful Charlie. Keep your hands to yourself. Blimey, tough room, if hey? So, remember what I said in part 1 that there was a particular item that would be very handy not long away? Well, in a bit, you're going to find out in this very part exactly how useful that item's going to be. That I do promise. Okay, wonderful, we've unlocked this kind of backdoor route so we haven't got to go around all the houses. Cause imagine if you wanted to go a certain way and you didn't unlock this like shortcut. Then without the shortcut you'd essentially have to go through like the double blue doors where the dogs broke through the windows. With this little shortcut back route you won't have to worry about that. You can essentially avoid them indefinitely until you absolutely have to go through there again, and later in the game they won't be there, but that's neither here nor there, right? Blimey. You like trying to pull some dirty tricks on me, don't you, sir? Keeper's Diary, May 9th, 1998. At night, we played poker with Scott the Guard, alias and Steve the Researcher. Steve was really lucky, but I think he was cheating. What a scumbag. May 10th, 1998. Today, a high-ranking researcher asked me to take care of a new monster. It looks like a gorilla without any skin. They told me to feed them live food. When I threw in the pig, they were playing with it, tearing off the pig's legs and pulling out the guts before they actually ate it. May 11th, 1998. Around 5 o'clock this morning, Scott came in and woke me up. Suddenly he was wearing a protection suit that looks like a spacesuit. He told me to put one on as well. There was an accident in the basement lab. No wonder those researchers never rest, even at night. May 12th, 1998. Been wearing this annoying spacesuit since yesterday. My skin grows musty and feels very itchy. By way of revenge, I didn't feed to those dogs today. Now I feel better. May 13th, 1998. I went to the medical room because my back is all swollen and feels itchy. They put a big bandage on my back and the doctor told me I did not need to wear the spacesuit anymore. I guess I can sleep well tonight. May 14th, 1998. When I woke up this morning, I found another blister on my foot. It was annoying and I ended up dragging my foot as I went to the dog's pen. They've been quiet since morning, which is very unusual. I found that some of them have escaped. I'll be in real trouble if the higher-ups find out. May 15th, 1998. Even though I didn't feel well, I decided to go to see Nancy. It's my first day off in a long time, but I was stopped by the guard on the way out. They say the company has ordered that no one leave the grounds. I can't even make a phone call. What kind of joke is this? May 16th, 1998. I heard a researcher who tried to escape from this mansion was shot last night. My entire body feels burning and itchy at night. When I was scratching the swelling on my arm, a lump of rotten flesh dropped off. What the hell is happening to me? May 19th, 1998. Fever gone but itchy. Hungry and eat doggy food. Itchy, itchy. Scott came, ugly face, so killed him. Tasty. 4th. Itchy, tasty. Keeper's diary's been filed. You can say that again. And plus there's some nice little shotgun ammo or shells we can pick up from here. Won't say no to that, certainly. Okay, let's come out of here and go on to touch with the next useful prerogative of a good area we need to get to. Well, actually we will once we get around crusty features over here. Blimey, you're not doing so good at trying to bite and tear me to shred. Maybe you unorthodox little pellets in that corridor should really take up tennis. Right. This is the room where I was talking about where this item's going to be very useful. Lid is open, right? So we'll put this chemical in here and it will basically take this plant down a peg or two so we can actually get to the key and other bits we might want to access in a bit without the faffing thing either thumping us or trying to throttle us around the neck with its tendril. Right, that's that overgrown weed taken care of. Let's see what we've got here. Will you take the mansion key? Yes. Don't mind if I do. And what's this key then? So if you check keys you can find what doors they're for. So this is the armour key. That'll be a very useful key in the next few seconds otherwise, because we can get quite a nice bouquet of ammunition from a few doors I can think of which this armour key can be used with. We take the green herb, yes. Why on earth not? So just leave the room. If I can, I'll double back and pick up the additional ammunition. Pick up the additional health. Just trying to sort of keep one step ahead of the opposition. That can occasionally be a bit of a tricky, slippery slope. You have used the armour key. Yep, you don't blooming right I have. Now in this, okay, don't know what the faff happened there then. Was that a glitch or did I just see something that I shouldn't have seen there? Very odd. Must be. Hopefully, I was sleeping. So before I was interrupted from what I was saying now. In this room, there should be some additional shotgun ammo or shells, whatever you want to call them, plus some additional pistol ammo. Whether I picked it up, hopefully, whether I picked it up or something. But another good feature with this game. So let's say, for instance, you're running with a woefully tight pockets, or in this case a woefully tight inventory slot. And that's fine. So all you do, you just take some like shells, where you say shotgun shells or whatever, and if you come across additional ammunition that you can pick up with shotgun shells, then you can pick up shotgun ammo indefinitely if you go to the right place of this. Because if you have a particular ammunition in the inventory slot and you go to add more to that particular caliber of ammunition, you can actually do that indefinitely for as long as the limit for the ammo pickups will let you do that for, say, shotgun or pistol ammo. But of course that's an entirely different ball game if, say, you haven't got that particular ammunition with you. But anyway, never mind. So we go in this room, pick up an additional item. Should be some additional ammo through here, I believe, or something. Pistol ammo, yep, thank you. 105 rounds for the pistol. Lovely. Wonderful. Now I want to be very careful how we beat this Z out, peeps, because if we could get too close, well, you'll be tearing 50 shades of our flesh off of us as if we never had skin and bone on us to begin with. So basically I got basically alert the Z that I'm there and run out. Then we can essentially use this kind of as a physical barrier to kind of keep kind of a physical barrier and a distance between us and him. See, just waiting for him to kind of lurch out from that little area. There's no way am I getting too up close and personal to see where he is, because that's a beginner's trap as well when it wants to be. Like, amount of times it's so easy to just get impatient and you would want to know where they are off screen. Go off screen to see where they are, and then I'm getting a cheap bite on your character because they're essentially out of view and your peripheral vision, and not being able to see where they are till it's too late. So in that situation, in a pinch, it's usually best if you can do it to let them come to you. With the exception of this, of course. Oh, blimey. Yeesh. Whoa. Down, down, zombie. Tut, tut, tut. You've been a bad zombie. Right, let's go up the apples and pears, or the stairs, whatever you want to call them. Right, get on with our little journey then, shall we? Well, more investigation, adventure rather, pretty much. So I want to go through here now and just check in on a few other areas in between. Okay, I left this bozo alive. Oh boy, did I just. Well, one side could run around you, on the other side could pop you full of begrudging lead. I didn't really want to waste a round on the gits, but the majority of the game, this game came from brought two of the greatest preliminaries to the forefront of any game, the likes of which the video game universe had ever seen before. This is one of the first games of its creed that actually encouraged cognitive thinking outside the box, and actually mulling over one of the greatest stratagems and strategies morning, noon and night of choosing your battles, essentially with your limited resources, your health and your ammo, when to mulling over and strategizing and making up your own minds once and for all of whether it's safe to run or safe to or better to fight through the enemy. But then even with some prospects of like the demos that run when you're not playing this game, and the game like show little enclaves of like the demo between Jill and Chris when it's being played in earnest, and the game will add this motto that I'll never forget, or quote rather, before the demo will actually kick off, and that quote said the following word: "Be smart. Fighting foes isn't the only way to survive this nightmare." And while that's perfectly true, they're kind of, as I say, it's like there's an accumulated balance between having to get to the perfect balance of knowing when to stand your ground and take the scumbags and the enemies down, and when best to signal the retreat, when to say, okay, well, I think there's going to be more waste of ammo than it's worth. So anyway, so I'll just pop in here, stock up on a few additional bits, if anything. Yeah, I think there's a... Oh, well, I read. My dearest Amma, the fact that you have received this letter is both a joy and a sadness for me. I could not even talk to you because of that guy in the sunglasses. Amma, be calm and read this. I think I told you that I moved to a pharmaceutical company's lab. They headhunted me. Last month, there was an accident in the lab, and the virus we were studying escaped. All my colleagues who were infected by the virus are dead. To be accurate, they've become the living dead. They still wander around. Some of them are knocking on my room door desperately right now, but there's no sign of intelligence in their eyes. That cursed virus takes away all humanity from the human brain. Love, joy, sorrow, fear, humour, eternally. And Alma, even the memories of the days I spent with you. Yes, I'm infected. I did everything I could, but I could only delay the progress by a few days. The most frightening thing is that I forget more about you by the day, so I choose a peaceful death rather than becoming the living dead. Within an hour, I will have entered my eternal sleep. I do hope you'll understand my decision. Goodbye and forever yours, Martin Crackholm. Research will has been filed. No. Okay, you may have been a scientist working for the wrong side, but yeah, it's quite a poignant and heartbreaking piece of memoir when you think of it, and it paints a quite an intriguing and terrifying picture of them being caught in the tsunami of Too Little Too Late, and the terabytes of when their virus comes back to hit them full on, and the people who created this are caught in the middle of it. Only then at the end did they understand that if they had any sense, they wouldn't have gone along with the Umbrella Corporation masquerading as a pharmaceutical giant and company's borderline immoral practices in the game and in the franchise of this, in the midst of this franchise in the first place. So with a company like that, it really makes you really want to go all out in taking the Umbrella Corporation down when you know a lot more what they're up against and what they caused, etc., etc. Alright, so I go down the stairs here and pull interface with a few other areas, perhaps. Just as soon as I clear up a bit of space in our friendly neighbourhood inventory slots. Because don't get me wrong, I mean, it's great that Jill can carry a total of 8 items as opposed to Chris's 6 items, but then it's not like Jill's got unlimited space in 50 Shades of inventory to place and put things. And even when you're walking upstairs, there's just such a there's such a menacing inertia to when you're walking upstairs, or you're investigating a new area you've never been in or been able to get at, or you survey in the first place at all. Next to nearly every area in the game has its own like ambience and thing to visually and otherwise say for itself. Whether it's a room with suspenseful music or a suspenseful room with the complete opposite effect but with no music. And it's very surprising how both variations that go hand in hand can be quite impressively effective at what they set out to do. First copy of Resident Evil 1 I ever played was bought from me from an electronics boutique in Basildon a long time ago. But they're not called Electronics Boutique now, they're called Game. But yeah, it was a long time ago, peeps. So yeah, it hasn't been too bad on the channel. I'm just getting things done as best I can. I just then afford just work on something extra special to kind of commemorate the 31st of October. So make no mistake, there's close calls ahead with this Let's Play. Certainly, it wouldn't be much of a Let's Play without close calls here and there. But when you really get down to the nitty-gritty, if I called this a labour of love, plain and whatever, I don't think a labour of love would be enough to express how much I appreciate the people who just really make being a YouTuber just such a joy, and like post things as best I can when I get a chance to do it. I've said many times before, like, I'll just edit and upload the videos. But it's you wonderful people on YouTube that where you come through with your phenomenal comments and loving the stories or whatever I post. So for every part of this Let's Play, when I get it up there on the 31st of October 2025, consider every part of this just a really genuine, beyond the shadow of a doubt, a big blooming thank you to all the people who take time to scope out my videos and chime in with their lovely comments. Because I really appreciate you. I really appreciate the people who scope these out and give them a chance. Now, that armor room, that door there, that's probably one of the most nefarious puzzles to actually get done in the whole game. And it's not nefarious because it's a egregiously difficult puzzle. It's just, it's a very awkward puzzle. And I'll explain that puzzle a bit more in depth when we actually, meet that puzzle head on screen in one of the ensuing parts. So, might come back for that green herb in a minute. sorry about the backtracking. I'm not trying to be like blasé or out of line and boring and nothing like that, but it's just I think it's best to kind of stock up on as many things as we can, because when you think of Resident Evil, a majority of the back and forth, the bedrock that makes the game work in like being strategizing and choosing your battles is mentally as much as anything. I find is just stocking up on supplies as and where you can find them, because later on in game it's going to get very tedious and dangerous to hang around too long in certain rooms with certain enemies knocking about. But I'll explain, we'll talk about them a bit more when we actually see them in game. So yeah, but looking back, even now, I just thought this was such a well-maintained franchise. And this wasn't just a wink, blink, and we'd miss it. It was the bolt of lightning that started it all. It was lightning in a bottle that started it all, with the first adventure in this secluded mansion in the Arklay Mountains, in this horrendous situation. And I even remember the back of the box, whether it's the original Resident Evil 1 or Resident Evil Director's Cut, which I'm playing now, during it for Let's Play. And it said, that basically said that they're underpowered and on the run. And it's not exactly a gross exaggeration, because when you do arrive at the mansion, all you have to work with is 15 rounds in your pistol / Barrel, and the fapping combat knife. Now, I can only think of exactly two scenarios or segments when in the whole game when the combat knife is in any way the repository of useful. Every other time after that, if I myself or others were expected to use the combat knife in open fight with a zombie or anything else after that, the knife would be essentially the equivalent of a suicide. It would be essentially a death wish against every opposition in the game. Because the advantage all round with the firearms and the conventional firearms in the game, I'm very clear on it. If you put in a do and die situation in game when there's no way to avoid the difference and the only way around is to take them down, begrudgingly even as much as anything, at least the conventional firearms enable you to keep your distance while really letting the enemy have it. Combat knives not so much, so as I say, with the exception of a few rare exceptions and segments in this game, it doesn't get much usage or reliability after that, if I'm being honest. Well, sneaky zombies again, huh? Sorry guys, but I'm afraid I can't hang around. I've got important items to find out my progress through game. This game in particular. Yeah, I've got to find our fellow comrades, like where Wes has buggered off to, where Chris has gone to, if anything, if we find him or if we don't. Yeah, we've got Barry kind of watching out for us, and vice versa as best we can. So Barry's essentially the partner character to Jill in the same way, give or take, that Rebecca is the partner character to Chris Redfield. And they kind of both have their kind of strengths and attributes which kind of separate them from one another in different aspects of that strength and attribute, and skill as much as attribute. As an example, so Barry Burton, he's a muscular, bearded man of middle age, I believe, and he's the weapons specialist for STARS, who accompanies Jill in certain segments throughout this first game. Chris Redfield, he's accompanied in certain segments when the game initially decides to have it go that way, by Rebecca Chambers. Rebecca Chambers is a field medic for the Bravo team. And at certain segments, I believe, if you play as Chris, if you get injured and you go into the room where you first see Rebecca, Rebecca will ask you if you want her to treat your wounds. Say if you get bitten or clawed by something. You'll have the option to say yes or no. And plus, I chose another reason why I chose to do Jill's Let's Play as opposed to Chris, because I'm sorry, the most tedious aspect, especially of Chris's part, you don't get the lockpick like Jill has, so you've got to muck about with old keys to sort of unlock anything. He only has 6 credit style inventory slots against Jill's 8, which is no contest. So Jill completely runs rings around him for proficiency with those 2 examples right then and now. And then if that's not enough, where Jill Valentine can practically play the Moonlight Sonata or whatever and basically get through that puzzle thing in like 1.5 seconds. Rebecca has to muck about with the piano what feels like forever. Then you have to have Chris tell her, yeah, it's okay to come with you. So yeah, it's just a lot to keep track of in certain situations of this game. Picture of a newborn baby. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Picture of a young man. There's a switch below. Will you push it? No, thank you. Picture of an infant. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Yes. A picture of a lively boy. There's a switch below. Will you push it? Hopefully I'm doing this puzzle in the right order, peeps, because please bear with me. It's just, I do understand practically what the puzzle's asking. It's in order of life, like life to death, cradle to grave. But hopefully I'm doing this in the right order, ladies and gentlemen. Because if I've made a tactical error with this puzzle, I could very well be up to my skin and bones and undead zombie style crows. That just wouldn't do at all, would it? Just touch wood, I don't trigger them off that perch of theirs. See, there's on that perch they're sitting on or standing on, whatever. An electric current runs through that perch. This electric current will only run through that perch and basically shock the crows into getting off that perch if you get it wrong. And if you do that and an electric current runs through that perch, it'll send them off the perch and off to attack you. Or Jill in this case, because I'm playing as Jill. Oh boy, end of life could be the end of my life if I muck this up. I hope I haven't. Okay. Oh dear, right, got to get out of here. Crows to the left of me. Go on, Jill, run like you like. Your pixelated life depends on it, well, it pretty much does, love. Faff. How that crow didn't get me, I'll never know. It was kind of like doing the animation for its pecking attack, and then for some reason I was able to get through the door. 1 second, ladies and gentlemen, while I just have a few seconds for my heart to go back to normal. Okay. Oh, blimey. Just can't believe that. Okay. The first round goes to 50 Shades of Crows. But the match isn't over yet, ladies and gentlemen. I'll try and do better with that in the next part. That I promise. Okay, Jules, get out of here before he tries to play. Before he really goes to town with us with those teeth. Right, back to the safe room we go. I think I will drop a save after that. Because the way I see it, even if the crow room puzzle didn't quite work out the way I'd envisioned and wanted it to, it's a work in progress. And better a work in progress going forward for the sake of this Let's Play than going against it, you know. Thanks everyone. I'll see you all in part 3 of Let's Play Resident Evil Director's Cut.